Bonnie, it should be on. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hope I have 4 pending. So over in that box, guys, just put your questions in. I'll try and check it every 10 minutes. I'm not distracted. If you guys have any questions. So today we're going to run through stats and reverse prospecting. So info spark, everybody knows what this is. So, front page, you start here, and then over here, the original market stats by showing time. You click more stats. It will name that info spark for people that like statistics. Here it is. Right? Who likes statistics? Really? Graphs are easier, but occasionally you'll get a client that's like an engineer or a mathematician like that who loves stats. So it's a good bonding experience if you know how to code for them. Because engineers are great clients, engineers and architects, and they're good for referrals too. So if you've never had one as a client and you do get one, make them really good friends because you'll have over and over referrals. So engineers and architects. What I wanted to pull up and show you was what I haven't done yet in that. So the interesting thing is when you drop into Clark County on the map, right? What have they been threatening with us with, right? What are they going to remove? Yes. The numbers, right? But they're still. But they're still in here. So they are changing area to zip codes now. So when you click on the zip codes, they'll update for you. So you can go in and pull stats for those just pull this zip code. I just do most recent. So and then they're going to run your stats based on September to September. You just can update. You can change it from month to month on the what period you want to look at. But if you do most recent, it's just going to run last year's to the next date versus the draft if you guys want any of these numbers. So you're going to a listing appointment and you're trying to get them to understand your pricing in the days on market. It's a good sheet to hand to them to show them what the changes are and what they're up against. So for instance, single family last through just for this zip code, there's been a decrease in listings. 10 new sales, 10 returns, closed sales, 10 more sales in 2021. So September to September, you can get these ideas. It just matter what zip code you guys have. Just use our zip code. So single family, townhouse, and condo, and then there's the rest graph. What the prices, what the rolling prices are for condos and townhouses. So these are cool little reports you can bring on your or listen. Showings, yeah, because you're trying to battle whether or not they're gonna, take your advice and bid the right price, right? Well, this is kind of what's happened, so you might want to, listen to me since you have 7,000 codes, you might want to throw that full 7,000 on, which is really want response. These are good ones. And then for open houses too, gives you an edge up if you're sitting at open house. You know the zip code, you know what's going on with the market, and then you can share that with people. A lot of agents do for the yeah, this playboard, so we can kind of do it just to start conversations, because you're trying to get clients, right? So the typical clients are really big clients. So try to use it. So that's in Prospect, and it's at the top of your in Facebook. So once you click this page is going to be just your quick step. You can go more in depth on it, and we kind of cover this one every month when they post our monthly sales. It's on your front page. Okay. So our realtor page has just about everything. I'm an advocate for it because the definition for me is all your sales are done in this cooperative, and all your stats are in this cooperative. 93% of your sales, right, George, are a cooperative basis, so everything's pretty much MLS orientated. Occasionally you'll get that double M that you did yourself, but very rare to do that. And agents will start seeing that, the ones that have the 1.5 and the 2% off. Yeah, I don't need cooperative at this point, but at some point you're going to. And we remember names and we remember who you work with. So, anyway, this graph is pretty interesting, isn't it? It bounced all over the place during COVID. And dropping sales and then back. Okay. All right, so let's look at our weekly stats, and I always keep those. I hope you guys are getting form. There's a lot of videos coming out too on the prospects, just because they're free CRM services. A lot of people pay $2,500 a year for Top Producer and other CRMs. Well, you're already paying for this one, so you start watching videos, start using them, and if you need a CRM, look at that. If you have a CRM with your agent, like we do, we have one in the property base. If you guys use it, drop your clients in, you put your reminders in. It's content management. You put your reminders in your due dates, but this one will do it, and you can have your clients back and forth on your toolbox, your portal. So you can see what they're shopping for. They have past clients that are still in like portal systems. You never know when they're in there. They're just in the real estate and they want to send information out that you should. All right, so again, new listings 921, sold at 1022. So it's busy week last week, huh? For the 7 days. So again, selling more than we're listing. Some of everything going into contract. And that's still not seeing a lot of withdrawals or temporarily off the market. So anyway, all right, any questions there? At this point, it's self-explanatory. You guys get any questions? Sound. What are you doing? How about now? Is there sound? Hey, Bonnie, do me a favor. Check this out. Hey, Bonnie. You know that link? You hear me? No, on the screen. If there is, Jen. Turn your volume up. If there's no. Okay. Yeah, it's live. All right, so today I wanted to jump into um, reverse prospecting. Do they even teach you guys that at MLS? They don't even jump into it for what it's used for? Do you ever wonder how they get your information or how do they know your clients searching?
Well, because I have to check box, so I do have a question with my clients that's using the portal. Do they get some sort of alert or do they get
Sure. Yeah. So if you have your client in there, what happens is down here on my listing, I have like everybody, but there's this, the first one is my hit counter. Okay. If you have an active listing, you can go in here, you can see how many portals this listing is in, how many clients have viewed this property, and then how many favorites there are. And then how many agents have published it and rejected it. So what that means is if you have a search going that's concierge mode, where you want to look at it first to make sure it has everything in, that means um, that agent published it after seeing it because it did have everything, or if the agent rejected it, how many times it was rejected. So now, reverse prospecting, when you click it, when you hit this reverse prospect, so you can print these stats and give me clients. So you can see how many times your house is being shown and all that stuff. Right now, it's kind of like obsolete because homes are selling pretty quick, right? But on reverse prospect, if you're having a tough time, this is where they get your information from. Okay? So if your client has a heart and you're their agent in the portal, it's going to show me um, how many hearts are in this scenario. Now, a lot of them are brokers. They're just monitoring areas, but usually you won't get a heart on them unless a client actually puts a heart or a light bulb. So, sometimes you'll see heart, and then light bulb. Mhm. So on that, when you get those emails from people, you can just copy and paste their email. And that's when you get the emails from agents saying, hey, your client likes the property. That's how they're doing it. So you're just grabbing the email, dropping it into a blank carbon copy or a CC or whatever you do, and sending you a message. So how can this be beneficial to you besides prospecting by email? Because I really read those emails and say, oh, okay, great, the client likes the house. Unless they're like actively looking and trying to strike a deal, um, that's when I'll call them and say, hey, well, how low is your client go or what like that. This came out, and that's why I couldn't change the topic a bit because a listing went on for an agent. It had immediately an offer within 3 hours, right? And they said, well, we want a response by within 3 hours of the 3 hours that they received, or else we're going to back out of the deal. I go, well, great. And, it makes you anxious and you want to respond. It's a good offer, waiving contingencies or whatnot. But how's your reverse prospect look? Because you wanted to go through the weekend and have no time. She's like, well, what is that? Well, this is what you need. Okay. So when your listing goes on, the next day you're going to get all of these stats. Okay. So it goes on. So you put it on at noon today. Tomorrow at noon, you're going to be able to pull all of every portal that it went to, every client that liked it, and you have access now to all of the agents in that scenario. So if you had a couple hours the next day to respond, if you had 6 hearts lined up, for the weekend, wouldn't it be beneficial to give them a call real quick and say, hey, do you plan on showing it this weekend? And then what's the strength of your buyer? So that way in your counter, if you're going to counter that offer, seller to accept any other offer prior to Monday at 6 p.m. And then gives these guys all the opportunity to come through. And then you kind of, with your cell phone number, see how strong is your buyer. And then come by. So now you're going above and beyond for your seller, right? To make sure they're getting the best offer. Because cash is king, right? So if there's a FHA buyer and somebody's going to come in cash on Sunday, you might want to hold out for that. And I think a lot of agents miss that. Because I did one right down the street here, and my client wanted to buy a fully furnished condo for their portfolio. They weren't coming out until Sunday. They made the appointment with the agent, but that agent made the appointment, set it for Sunday. I let him know we were cash, but accepted an offer on Friday. And he accepted a conventional loan. Why wouldn't you wait for a seller on Sunday? It was just a younger agent. So I want all of you guys to know when it's hot, so you can get the best scenario for your client. Because that's what we see about fallout. You don't have to know who they are, but their agents are looking at the property. So that, if you have any questions. So everybody that's registered has your phone number in there, right? Because you want to be found on Las Vegas Records. And so it is everybody's direct line when you go into the reverse prospect. So again, that is in your front page. Now you can change your front page around. I just kind of got used to the way it happens. Which one? So that's if somebody found you. Maybe lost it here. Horrible Russia. So it's a prospect. Usually it tells you why they found it. If someone went to you directly, so this person found me somehow on the MLS, yeah, and reached out to us, and so automatically, like, if you have your forms on, where they have to put in their email and information to go further, the same with your CRM, your app, and all that, then it'll capture their information for you, so you can start adding it to your bank. It's a good idea to reach out to them and see why they reach out to you and put a phone number down. This one's just catching his email and it doesn't say why. But again, who knows why people are reaching out to me? So, someone, if I go to my contact, I can tell you find it and how they reach out to me. Yeah, everybody's doing anything. As you get further on, you get built up. So, figure out a way to manage all that, and that is what prospect is. And this is only 2 years old, so that's just one thing because you don't want to spend any money on doing it. It works just as good. It reaches out to them. And all of the listings will be in there. And when you click all my listings, quick toolbar is this edit thing. If you pick something like pricing or agent to agent or marketing, just one minute. The other one I use a lot is this one. Actually, these are chains, right? So they're linked to the, that's your assessment management. So citizen links, link. So if you wanted to check if that has citizen links, that's your link. Just takes you to the screen. So you got here, you click on the parcel. Everybody know what a citizen is and where to find it. Now you do. As far as the link chain. This one's going to be your accessory page. You can get here. You can map. You can get the aerial view. The building stuff, as I mentioned last week, it's very important if you have additions to a property and you're looking for permit. It's going to be in the building stuff. Who owns the property, how many times it's transferred. And really, this is what's going to be your last recorded document. So you can just click on why is that important? You ever have like a son trying to sell mom and dad's property, or someone come along and say I own the property, they don't, or a wife trying to sell the property, but the husband doesn't know. So, you know, rather than waiting for title to get back to you, you can just go right to the deed. Then asking the questions like, this is your home, your wife, this is your home, your level 6. And it's always going to have the last, like, transfer information, because it's not one for tax, right? They finish the tax. And then this link is right to the recorder's office. And so they updated the recorder's office. You can get the paper docs now, but it used to bring you right to the history of what was recorded in order. We started using that recorder site a lot when people weren't paying their mortgages anymore. So we were listing short sales, but then we had to look at HOA liens, Republic Service liens, sewer and trash, to figure out if it was a short sale. And we might use there at some point that we had 20% increases in the last 3 years. So it have to absorb a lot of equity to be questionable. But that's where you got the history. So every time the public service didn't get paid that month, then I record a $48 lien. You'll see them just stacked. That's like, hey, when's the last time you paid the public service? What's the public service? And they'll have like a year, $500-$600 in services. Because those ones don't go anywhere, and neither does water reclamation, which is sewer. Those are just that. Water reclamation is 5 annual. You get billed twice a year, and then the public service is monthly. Irrigation is $47 a month. Sewers, depending on where you're at in the valley, how far the water has to go to get back to the sewer or the water treatment facility. Listing data, Realist. I am an advocate for Realist because it makes my life a little easier when answering quick calls, like, hey, what's my property value, and then if you forget who they are, it'll have their name on it. There's one or two nowadays, right? Because they're all internet based, and you always get that home screen with the Fire Stick or whatever smart TV you're using. How do they know what I'm interested in? You know? Because it'll feel like this is suggested that for you on BBC America. I swear I don't have a computer on. But I think it's got at my house it's got to do with whatever my kids turn on the TV. And like, what is all this anime? I don't watch it. So it's just why is it not? Is everything Alright, you're with that. We have so much information, so I guess it comes down to how do we use it, right? So I like the AVM, which is automated value. Like you can use it over the screen. It'll pop, that's kind of what pops up. Similar to Zillow. Sometimes it's wrong, sometimes it's not. So you would want to look at the confidence score. Anything at 80% or higher is pretty close to what that property probably would sell for. But I like also that it gives you a range, a low range, and a high range on the property. So you probably want to leave towards the higher range right now because we're seeing that plus 20% from last year. But I would look at that. But we have all of the details on it. All of the little signatures. This one I would like to keep in my digital file. So I just print and save it PDF. I just save it on my computer or my whatever digital file you need to do. It's kind of handy. I even call you and I'm like, I don't know what property is it, and then you can go to that file and just pull it. Corporate news. It's really simple. You get the building sketch to the bottom. Not this one. Sometimes they put the building sketch at the bottom. If you have more detail on it. That's a lot. So you can put a lot in the location of it. Any questions on reverse prospecting? My listing is that. Yeah. Well, I think a lot of this stuff is geared towards our cooperative effort that most agents getting in this industry forget. That's the spirit of our industry, is it's a cooperative. But everybody that joins is here to rule the world, right? So I'll tell you how to rule this world, because he who has the most listings wins. the more listings you carry, that's the game you're in. Because you're the guy that has to call. Right? So, if you want to win, go after listing. If you're just playing the game, just be cooperative and make money. It's pretty easy.
So when you set up like an auto email for somebody, I don't always know that reverse prospecting. Did you put that on?
I know what you're saying. So let's go and set one up real quick. So we want to look at active incoming stream usually for buyers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to look at just around my little neighborhood here. Right? Look, a house listed behind us. Did you guys look who listed that? Anybody? What? It's right behind us. You guys can walk back there and list that. That's not so So, me, I just want to work within half a mile of my office, right? So I want to live within half a mile of my office. And save new auto email. Um, um, 0.5 miles. Because I don't want to commute, right? I just want to live. You're talking about fixing that. Right?
Yeah.
Show this contact in reverse prospecting results. Yes, that is what it does. Most people don't care about it.
So if you uncheck that, then it's not going to come up on the listing page.
Clearing this checkbox will hide this contact in all reverse prospecting results, not just results for this hour. So I would say if the client's actively looking and just so you don't miss anything, be in reverse prospecting. The agents out there that are reverse prospecting are trying to sell their property, and they're probably going to be the more cooperative agent you want to work with in the if they reach out to you. I don't know, my client did mark that one, but it's 20,000 too high for you guys to work with. Maybe you guys can start that conversation. Me, I like daily. I don't like ASAP because then we get calls whenever. Like a crap dealer, we get calls here about crap. So I try to go daily, and I turn off Sundays. It's up to you guys if you guys do. I'd rather just wait till Monday to get that listing, but if they're in a hurry to buy something, then I'll make Saturday from it. You guys can figure it out, you know. ASAP, if it is like you've got it narrowed down to like one subdivision, right? I'm only gonna live in this subdivision right behind you, so as soon as something becomes available, I'll buy it. And that's probably as soon as possible. What else can you change in there?
When you talk about the concierge service, I heard you say that earlier. So if it comes to you first,
Yeah, so if you oh, you change those in there. I can't send it to you. Yeah. So you auto email, you can forget to are. So now when I come down to you enable concierge mode. So what happens on that is on your front page, you see the concierge right here. So if I turn on any concierge in my auto email, so you can edit it whenever you want. If I enable concierge, so go to approvals, and now he's going to appear on my then that client will appear in concierge. And so every day when you go to check your front page, it'll tell you like what your new listings are. So then it's up to you to go in here and look to see if it fits your client's needs. I'll show through, but it's good, but my client needs a bigger kitchen, right? So I know off the bat that's not good. So look at this one. Maybe the kitchen guy is quite small. So I'd say this one and this one are good. The other ones aren't good. So now whether I'm check marking, I can just reject them right off the bat out of the list if I'm click marking and rejecting, or I am picking one or two and then I'm approving whatever split. And that adds to his cart, and then he goes through and looks through. That's concierge. That's you doing what you're supposed to be doing. I need a pool that's 10 by 20, and that's it. Don't show me anything else. You'll get that from clients. Don't show me anything that doesn't have a RV carport or something, or an RV dump. So that way you guys are scouring through those. You say that's concierge. So concierge also, so if you're watching a subdivision, how it helps you in, they range from 800 to 1.2, but your client's only approved up to 900, so you're only looking for the 8 to 900 range, but you have another client that can pay the 1.1 or 1.2, so you kind of want to watch that subdivision and then turn concierge on. So it's not automatically sending them the 1.2, because then you'll get the call and say, hey, I can't afford 1.2, it's a nice house, but stop sending me things out of my range because they can't afford. Because then you're on target, everything out there. It's affordable and you end up with a $600 bill. So concierge is good, reverse prospecting is good, and these are all tools fitting in that front page. And then your portal visitors, you guys see that when they're up there, how often they're going in. The cool thing is, like, if you set them up and they haven't like disabled you, you can see how often or what day they're in there. And they can do your stuff. And who is active in your system. Violations, actually. Hopefully you're not getting any violations. By the way, they do email me and they email you when you violations. I rarely follow up because you guys get 3 days to fix. Usually it's like putting your phone number in agent or marks or what else do they report you for? Picture of your for sale sign. on the front of your first picture. And then your closing date, when you guys really extend, like you're supposed to close on Friday and then you close on Monday, you'll automatically get one on Saturday. So you have 3 days to fix it. Those are the king of violations. Remember short sales church? They never closed on time, right? We'd have them 6 months out and it'd be month of 9 before we're even looking at closing. Now just wrap them up. Does everybody know where to report a violation? You know we're all self-policed, right? We have grievance council, our MLS is self-policed. Some of that stuff's set up for automatic. But just so you know, let's see if there's a question. So say I am looking at this property right here, right? And it says like do not show unless you're so and so or something. I don't know, something that violates it. Or bonus is wrong or it says vacant key any, but it says appointment also. That's a bad, that should catch on automatically, but it can't be vacant key any appointment. You know, it should automatically, it's something weird like that, okay? Or it says key any mechanical or no lockbox, right? If it says key any no lockbox, then you probably want to report that because key any means just go and unlock it, right? Oh, you see what I wanted to say? Up here is a little triangle with an exclamation. If you believe there is a violation of this listing, click here to anonymously report the problem. So nobody knows that you reported the problem. I'm not asking anybody to become a policeman, but if something's wrong, blatantly wrong on it, because agents will call me. It's like, hey, this person did such and such. I'm like, we'll report it. Well, how do I do that? We'll try this. If it's anonymous, it goes to, I believe it's Don Romo's office, MLS, and they investigate it, and then they'll send a violation email notice out to them. Should have 3 days to correct. Okay. So if you like vacant key any is a tough one, or vacant key any no show or something like that, or key any no show. I see a lot of like don't show. I don't know why agents do that, but and here are your list of things that you can put in there. Bathrooms are wrong, garages are wrong. It's annoying when you're trying to sell a 3-car garage and they blatantly lie. It's a 2-car with a converted room, right? Like a playroom for the teenagers or something. So incorrect number of garages, lockbox code. You get to a listing and the lockbox doesn't work and nobody answers their phone. It's annoying in July, right, when it's 110 degrees outside. I get really irritated. And you get I'm sorry, my assistant put the wrong lockbox out there. Well, it's a violation. I don't care if it's your assistant or my client shouldn't be standing around in the 110 degree weather waiting for me to track down a lockbox. Put mapping is a huge one because you can alter that with that. Sometimes something will pop up, right? It says it's right where your client wants to buy, um, and it's out in front is the true location. Um, incorrect school, that's a tough one because you're supposed to be looking at. But there's like even a place in Henderson that has 2 schools together, and it depends that year which boundary you're in. So CCSD is the 51. Incorrect status, power name, no front photo, incorrect backing, and you just put another in. Agent reported violation. So it's like self-proofing. So that's this one here. Any questions on that? You know they added, which I really use. Does anybody have to use this format? We used to have to go to a different site, but they added it for us. You ever looked at a format? No. So there's a couple areas that we're flooding up into a lot. Flooding is going to be required. Most of the time, you're not your agents that do that. When they're applying for homeowners insurance, your insurance agents will be looking at this quote out for the house before they give you a quote. You just watch me. So if you're this house, right? They need flood insurance, right? So most of the drainage is all fixed, but sometimes you get a house that is on a drainage channel, and there's a possibility that that water can run higher. So it's not your job to look it up, but you should be able to let them get to the flood control system if they're contemplating buying something along the wall. The one that blew my mind when I first learned about this, it was this property over here. Pebble. I had an office over on Pebble. And there was this whole neighborhood before they took the drainage from this whole neighborhood was a flood zone. Because my office was right here, and I was selling properties right behind because I don't like traveling very far. And because until they fixed this channel, this is when they were finishing off this 216. This whole neighborhood required flood insurance. It was the weirdest thing ever. That's how I learned how to read. Whether or not you're in a zone X is an area that you will be outside the 100 and 500 year flood zone. But the X is where in level A, 100 years flood. Was anybody here in 2000? 2000? Yeah, it was 2000. The last 100 year flood was happening. Or was anybody here? 21 years ago. Yeah, everything shut down, right? Everything flooded. Yeah, they spent a lot of money on like digging out areas like this to absorb all the water. But it rained for days. I think this whole place just flooded, and houses along that Flamingo Wash were taken out. And yeah, this is a disaster. And then, yeah, it was before they started the Beltway, and then all the drainage systems. Most of these places are out of the flood zone. But again, we have all of these channels, right? So if you're selling something along the channel, and they ask you, is this in a flood zone? Well, by golly, Yeah. Did you know you're buying a house in a flood zone? There's a road behind you. They only came in this way and looked at the house. They would never know about that. If they're in a 100-year flood zone. Although it would be, if the last one was in 2000, it would be in the year 2100, right? The next 100-year flood. But good stuff that they've added here for us, right? Oh, and then by the way, I added history to our required docs. So I've been getting a lot of status changes that are incorrect. So in order for us to run compliance, it's real easy for you guys. Just click listing history and then control print and that all. And then just save it as a PDF and then upload it into it. Like it says MLS history, that's all I'm looking for. How many times the price has been adjusted. So if you go to this little clock, yeah, and that'll give you a listing history. This is what I found really good. Say, I think the clock. So, because we're just making sure that all of the, mainly what happens is when contracts are, you go under contract, right? When the buyer falls out, well, we need those in the system so we can answer any questions if anybody investigates them. So that's what I want to make sure. Even though you're only going into contract once for a final sale for him, this guy had one contract, two contracts. So I'm looking for this previous contract to be uploaded with cancellation on it. Because I've come across like somebody has sold a property, but there's still an outstanding EMD at Chicago Title or something, and they're contacting me 6-7 months down the road going, hey, there's still earnest money on a file, and I'm like, well, what file? And I pull the address, and we only have like a closed file. I'm talking to them like, no, we've already closed this. It's closed in July. I have no idea that there was a previous sale unless you guys upload them. Now, by law, if it's got a signature on it, they have to be turned in to the file. And the easy thing when they do cancel, Bonnie just creates a sub portion in your listing to show like canceled listings. That way, if that does happen, where the earnest money was sort of, I can at least acknowledge them and then work out what we're doing with the earnest money because I have a copy of the contract. Otherwise, I miss it. So when you guys see that history, MLS report, that's why I do it, so that we know how the transaction went. Fair enough? Yeah, this one's just reading into this budget total that just Okay, any questions that I can go over for you guys? I'll try to find something insightful. I think we'll jump back to Gizmo next week. I think Gizmo is more for if you're selling land or commercial stuff. That's what I use it for, master plans and zonings. But I'm probably going to jump to that next week. But I wanted to go through some MLS stuff because there's so much stuff in MLS that you guys can utilize at any given time. All right, then you guys have a wonderful week. Interest rates are low, keep selling. Like I said, investors is what I like to say to concentrate on for fourth quarter. It's a little more relaxing market for them, and usually they can make a better deal. Yep. Yes.